Hi, welcome back to another Petainer podcast with Andy Brewer and Dave Thennes. Cheers, y'all. Oh, I love this Wickle. This is from one of my favorite customers, Urban Chestnut. One of the reasons I come down to St. Louis is so we can work on some projects from time to time. Another reason is to get a nice Mexican dinner with my good man Andy, and also to load up on Wickle, fill up my empty trunk. Yeah, and it's well worth it. Speaking of what I've been doing, what have you been up to?
So we've been working on a few little projects here, there and everywhere. Last time we mentioned about the 10-litre home keg.
Yep.
So I've been working on some dispense issues, not issues, but some dispense solutions for that, including a box that is larger that we can put ice in. So we can dispense directly from a box.
That'd be great for a picnic or taking on a boat.
Found a little kegerator where the keg will fit nicely in there. So with the tap and everything. So we'll be talking about that probably on the next podcast. One thing that we've been working on is, because of COVID, is the sanitizer thing. So we've teamed up with our partners up in NOVO, and we have this brand new sanitizing unit. Hands-free. We'll use anything from a small jug, 1 gallon, all the way up to our 5 gallon. These are coolers that actually we blow mold ourselves. These are 5 gallons. So the beauty of this device is that it's hands-free, and you can get thousands of dispenses out of it before you have to refill it. So we know that supermarkets, hospitals, hotels everywhere are requiring you to sanitize your hands before you go in. This way you don't have to touch anything, and it doesn't run out. That's been one of the issues. Yeah. You know, we had a colleague of ours went to Disney World, and they said the trouble is they found half of the sanitized stations had actually run out of sanitizer.
Well, yeah, they're like this big, and you got how many people constantly hitting them up.
Exactly, and this will give out an exact dose every time. And as I say, with a 5 gallon jug or even with a 1 gallon jug, you're talking of thousands of dispensing. So set this up somewhere and you can sort of forget it. It works. You can plug it into the wall, into 110 volts, or it actually works on batteries as well. So
that's what I love about it.
4 AA batteries.
Put it anywhere.
Put it anywhere. Yeah, and it's really easy to work, and it's very, very reliable. So that's one thing that we're actually selling right now. So if you're interested, contact us at Petainer. Get on our website, www.petainer.com, and we can help you with that. And we can also help you find people who can fill up containers with sanitizer locally.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky, right? Because we're all over the United States. We work with a lot of companies that are producing their own hand sanitizer.
Right.
So we've got locations all over the United States where we can get these filled up for anybody that wants a dispensing unit. So that's just one less thing you have to worry about, is sourcing your hand sanitizer, which is definitely something that's not going to go away. I mean, I think it's just giving you a new part of life. Is you just make sure that you're always, got clean hands.
Yeah, and the beauty of these are refillable. So from an environmental point of view, it's good, but also from a cost point of view.
Sure, yeah.
Because, originally we worked on a very simple system using our kegs, but obviously the kegs are one-way use, and they're a lot more expensive than the water bottles. And these are nice and rigid, and they're solid and easy to handle. So
yeah, I love how easy this whole package is. I mean, it's just got a feeding tube into it. Put your cooler in there, put the tube in there, plug it in, throw batteries on it, slap it wherever you need, and you got people getting a chance to sanitize. We're
down at our innovation centre down in Arnold, and I had this shipped in the other day. The longest part was just taking the screws out of the container. But within half an hour, I'd uncrated it and I had it in operation. So it doesn't take. There's no assembly with it or anything like that. So the only assembly is putting this in, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just going to save the end user such another headache, because instead of running around your park or your grocery store, filling up all those little packets. 12-ounce packets of sanitizer. You got a bulk system. You don't have to worry about it. Just one less hassle.
Well, if you've run out, people won't tell you, and they're walking into your hospital or bar or wherever, and they haven't sanitized their hands.
Yeah.
Right. This way, they've got no excuse. There's always going to be sanitizer there. Something like this. Crikey! I mean, this is going to, if you get 200 or 300 people come into your bar over a period of a night, you're only going to use a small amount of sanitizer. This will probably last you most of the week.
Yeah.
And when you change it over, it's going to take you 5 minutes to change over, if that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've gone to the grocery store, probably about once a week, and I want to say 5 out of 5 last times I've gone, you walk in to get your grocery cart, and then they always have the dispenser for, like, the, paper towel that's already soaked in it, always empty.
Right.
And then they've got, like, the big jug, the 1 gallon with the pump on it.
Right.
There's sanitizer all over the floor.
Exactly.
It drives me crazy. That's usually empty.
Because people overpump, right?
The Touchless, which I love. Yeah, so we just wanted to share that with you guys. We think it's a really nice thing to have, especially during, these times. It's just, we're all working together to try to, keep each other healthy. And this is just, it's such an easy, one-stop shop just to, make everybody's lives a little bit less hectic.
That's right.
With all the crazy stress that we're dealing with these days. But yeah, so we're always here to help. And, we're lucky enough that we partnered up with a bunch of breweries and distilleries that, are committing to the community and helping out with their contribution of putting sanitizer. And I've seen it, man. I swear to God, there's this, I'm not going to say their name, but they packaged 12-ounce hand sanitizers in cans.
Right.
And it blatantly says on the side for, not for consumption, which is sad that we have to do that these days.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just everybody's getting to the line just saying, hey, how can we help? What can we do? And I appreciate them doing that. Right. I just think maybe like a Ziploc bag might be better than that's what I'm
Well, when we first started looking at sanitizer, we were looking for it really just because we could see the need out there.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we could see the need for bulk. So the first thing was we're looking at using our kegs. And in fact, that has been done. A partner of ours out on the West Coast, they actually supplied hospitals free of charge with sanitizer, and they were using kegs. But the kegs were actually being used to refill other containers.
Right, yep.
And the kegs were being completely... I have seen kegs being used for sanitizer. Now, what happens if someone does hook that up to a tap? From a safety point of view, that's dangerous, right? I mean, and with the liability laws that there are, do you really want that risk?
Right.
I worked years ago, actually, I was working with Bayer, and we were working on kegs, steel kegs for the agricultural community. And what they liked about the keg was that the keg basically has a spring on it and it remains closed. And they are concerned that the containers that they were using, if the farmers would just throw them off the tractor after they used them, then they could leak out and get into the water system. And obviously this is a huge issue. So that's what they liked about the kegs. But there again, we had to develop kegs with different fittings on them, so that there's no way that someone would see a keg, someone would see a keg lying around, steal it, reuse it for maybe filling with beer, or even tap it and take a drink of some sort of agricultural pesticide or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's important really that containers are only used for what they should be used for.
I mean, it's today's day and age. You buy a Superman Halloween costume and there's a label on it that says "will not make you fly."
Exactly. Yeah. Well, years ago when I worked, I did a lot of work for Anheuser-Busch, and the rule was that any container must be used for Anheuser-Busch products and not used for anything else. So you couldn't use an open can and use it for putting something else in, because they want to make sure that if it says whatever the product is on the outside, that's what the product is on the inside, and that's good for safety. So it is important really that.
Well, I use the can to put bottle rockets in and then shoot them off and not hold them, and that's for safety.
Right. Yeah,
I guess I got to stop using Anheuser-Busch cans. Yeah.
So other things we're working on, we've come out with a new filler. We called it the Eco Filler, I think.
Yeah.
Right? So we've started off really. So we have fillers that are fully automatic that do 100 kegs per hour for our keg. We have a
For any keg.
for any keg,
Yeah.
and we have smaller units as well. And basically, actually, we're getting smaller and smaller and cheaper. And what we found was that there is a need out there for smaller, like coffee shops and kombucha places,
Mom and pops.
where they don't have a pressurized serving tank where they can push the liquid into the keg. They need a pump. They don't need any real sophistication as far as getting the measurement right. So basically, it's like a manual filler, filling manually, but with a pump. It has a back pressure control system, so you can actually control the foaming as you fill, which you probably won't have to do with coffee or whatever. And it fits basically. We put it into a box, and you just pick it out of the box, put it on a tabletop, and connect it up. And we're talking, I think, $3,000 roughly, something like that. And it's slower than a regular filler, but it's faster than a manual filling. And what it does is it allows a lot of our smaller customers to be able to fill kegs.
Yeah.
At the moment, you and I went to that coffee company, and basically we said, okay, where's the coffee coming from? And he just bought
Big old panel out. Yeah.
like a soup drum type of thing. And so the problem is that you can't put it on a regular pump because you have to siphon it out.
Yep.
So we've used a diaphragm pump to do that. It has just simple on and off controls. You turn it off and on, but it has a back pressure control, so you can actually set the back pressure where you want it, start to fill, and then the next keg, you don't have to play with the back pressure. It's already set. Of course, you have to turn it off when the fill's there, but as soon as you press the button, it's done.
Yeah.
So it makes life a lot easier. It's a very simple system.
It's lightweight.
It's lightweight.
It fits in your backseat of your car.
Easily.
Which makes my life a lot easier.
Exactly, yeah. And it's cheap enough. And basically what we've always had the impression is that we produce kegs, but we must also help with dispense.
Yep.
So that we've been working on dispense, like I mentioned, the 10 litre going into a box, comes in a box, and the box will have a bag in it, and it's large enough that you just pick the keg out, open up the bag, throw in the ice, put the keg back in, put your coupler on, which can be as simple as a pump device, which could cost you less than $20. We found them as little as $17.
Yeah.
And you can dispense your keg. Makes life a lot easier for people if you want to take it.
Make your friends happy.
Yeah, take it outside, a party or whatever. Take it to the beach.
Be awesome for outdoor weddings right now.
Exactly, yeah. And we've also been working with inline coolers. So basically, you can couple your keg up. It'll go through an inline cooler and cool up the beer. Or also, we have now a fridge, a mini kegerator, I call it. It actually has the tap handle on the front. It'll have you'll be able to put CO2 into it, or nitrogen if you're doing for wine. And you can actually set the temperature you want. Admittedly, you've got to wait for the keg to cool down, but the refrigerator cools down incredibly fast. And so I think you can probably put it in there within 3 or 4 hours, you're ready to go. So I think from a home dispense situation, or what I'm really looking for is for wine. A lot of, in the past, we've sold wine in 20 litres, and we still do. But for a small wine bar or something, maybe that's too much. Maybe for a brew pub, for instance, that has, we went to one the other day, didn't we, where it was all beer. A guy came in with his wife and she wanted a glass of wine. Mm. He had to go around the back, get a bottle of wine, open up the bottle of wine, pour one glass, and the chances are he may not pour another glass of wine out. This system he could put on the bar, use a 10-litre keg, put it on there, pour the glass of wine, and not waste the rest of the wine that's left in the
same
bottle.
Temperature, every glass.
It's good.
It's going to taste the same the first glass and the last glass.
Yeah. And what it also does is it means that he wants to go to this place to drink beer, And he can go with his wife or his girlfriend or whoever who may not like beer and wants a glass of wine.
Yeah,
So
somebody who's gluten intolerant or something, you got another choice.
So it helps the bar actually sell beer as well, because I know when you go out, it's always hard to please everybody. So if you go out with a whole bunch of you, not all of you are going to want a beer. Not all of you want craft beer, for instance. So it's always good for a craft brewery to have a regular beer on tap, but this way they can have wine too.
Yeah,
and not
or cider or coffee
or coffee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So a little cafe, right? Who wants to have kombucha on tap?
No.
It's easier, instead of having all these bottles all the place. They can get it to the right temperature they want. They can dispense it with the right gas that they want to keep the carbonation, etc. It just makes perfect sense. So
yeah, I mean, like we're not just gonna sell you a keg. We're going to supply you with kegs if you need it.
yeah,
We're going to help you with filling options. We're going to help you with dispensing options for the end user. And now we're trying to help out with getting sanitizer in an easier way. And that's just what I love about doing stuff with Petainer, is that we're constantly looking out how to make people's lives easier, less stress. And
it's all about solutions.
Solutions, yeah.
And
that's why we're the Innovation Center.
That's right, we've got the Innovation Centre, which we've just put some new offices in, so we're moving some more people in here. You can't see my part of it, which is an absolute mess.
The laboratory. Well, there's a circle staircase you got to go down. There's a certain book you got to pull off the bookshelf.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very Harry Potter, but it's good to work here. We're working on lots of stuff, and also if you guys who are watching this podcast see that, hey, there's something that we'd like to use the kegs for, or
have you ever thought of this?
Have you ever
Can
thought
we work
of this?
together on something?
We'll always look at that. Yeah. So, I think it's amazing how many times we've been to customers and we've seen what they've done, and we go, that's a damn good idea. We've never thought of that. Mm-hmm. So, when we're working with, for instance, HPP, or high pressurized pasteurization, our kegs can tolerate the pressures that are used for high pasteurization. So we're using a different valve for that. We're using an ACE style. We're developing some stuff with that, with a
don't give all our secrets away.
Don't give all the secrets away. But this is an alternative.
Sure.
And we're looking at all sorts of things at the moment. So many things out there that it's hard to keep track of it. But as I say, anything you think that, how about, can we use it for this? Can we do it for this? Kegs are just not only for beer. Right. There's other things, milk even.
Yeah. Sports drinks. Yeah.
Sports drinks, yeah.
Sanitizer, yeah.
Sanitizer, everything. Yeah. So.
Well, that's awesome. It's always exciting to come down here and see what you're working on next.
Right.
And
gives us an excuse to have a beer, right?
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'm going to have one more after this, hit my hotel room up, get some more work done, and we'll get back at it tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
There's a swimming pool.
There's a swimming pool, yeah. Right. All right.
Well, thanks again for tuning in. Like Andy said, if there's something that you've thought of that might be able to help out with what we're doing, shoot us an email, shoot us a tweet, hit us up on Facebook. If there's something that you're interested that we're working on, or that you've seen today, or that we've talked about on past podcasts, always shoot us a line on all of our social media, on our website. But yeah. So let's get back to work.
Oh, okay.
Deal.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Cheers.